Yo, so we got to move on to our longest running segment, and we apologize. We did a 53-man roster last week, so we didn't do this, but we're gonna bring it back. It's that segment called "Like It, Love It, or
Hated it.
Hate It." Yeah, buddy. We are back live and direct with this, and we're gonna start it right along. We see that mini camp is going on, and OTAs just stopped. We also know that Chase Young skipped OTAs. Will, I'm gonna come to you first. How do you feel about that?
So I'm in between like it to hate it. Like it is because I don't hate this. I don't like it. But here's the thing. It's kind of the NFL's fault. It's the NFLPA's fault. They did this to themselves because they didn't make this mandatory. These were voluntary practices. And so now you're leaving it up to players to decide and look like the bad guy when they don't show up because 86, 87 of the 90 players showed up last week, or the past 2 weeks. The players pretty much knew this was voluntary but mandatory. Like when you get voluntold to show up someplace. So that part I couldn't like. But at the same time, you could see he was communicating with the coaches. They were very clear about that. He showed up this week at minicamp and he's being the leader out there. So he slid back into his role. I mean, I think to be the leader of the team, though, to be the franchise player that we think he is, he really should have been there. But I will give him this. We don't know why he wasn't there. We don't know what he had going on. We don't know what family issues he might have going on.
Right.
Let's not forget, we are still in a pandemic. And I know we're going to get to part of that later. But we don't know, what he's got going on in his home life that affects. And if he can limit how much he's around mass amount of people, so I think the fact that there was communication versus if you compare this to Aaron Rodgers, who just flat out said, I'm not showing up. There's a big difference between what Chase Young did and what Aaron Rodgers has done. So, I don't like it, but I don't think we need to make a big deal out of it. But I think at the next CBA, the Players Association needs to make this black or white. Either it's mandatory or you don't have it. None of this
Right.
voluntary stuff where the players get looked bad.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. What you thinking, man?
So we don't have a category for the way I feel about this. So I don't give a damn, tell you the truth. Like, honestly, Will, you said it pretty much everything like that I was thinking of. It's like, I think there's a difference between what Chase Young did and what Aaron Rodgers is doing. So you really can't sit here and judge them the same. And
No.
to me, I don't think there's an issue with it because it's not the first time a player opted out to not go to a voluntary workout. You know what I mean? And it's not the first year. Like, you know what I'm saying? They've been doing this forever. It's like I can't even remember a time when they haven't had a voluntary OTA. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do it all the time. Why is this a big deal when Chase Young does it? Why is it a big deal when Montez Sweat does it? Like, it's not.
Right.
It really isn't. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not even an issue. Like, on my page, or not my page, but on one of the Redskin sites, Washington football team sites, I even put it out before everyone started going crazy over it. Chase Young, Montez Sweat didn't show up for OTAs. What do we think about that? Why didn't they do that? Da 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 da. I thought they supposed to be leaders. Shut up. Like, seriously, man. Like, I already put it. I put it out there. I'm like, stop making it a big deal. And
Right.
I said it a few weeks ago, guys. It's practice.
Yep.
Practice. Yeah. We talking about practice, not the game.
No.
Not the game. Practice.
Practice.
Come
Absolutely
on, man.
Right.
Come on, man. To me, it's like, oh, what is it? Senior skip day. You know what I'm saying? So it's senior skip day, and everyone knows it's senior skip day. but we want to give the person that's making straight A's shit for skipping school.
Right. Hold them at a different standard. Yep.
People would come at me like that, bro. Come on, man. I'm making straight A's. I was rookie of the year last year. I'm sorry, defensive rookie of the year. Kiss my ass. Like it's already a wrap. Like you can't even tell me nothing right now. So literally, it'd be one thing if it was like one of those maybe players. I can see the argument there. I can see where we sit there and make a big deal like Jared Patterson didn't show up for OTAs. I thought he really cared about making the team. I would jump on that story, be like, yo, that's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's something that, like, what's his mentality that he's sitting there thinking, why I don't need to show up for OTAs? They said it was voluntary.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's first year too. I definitely would understand the conversation, the skepticism on that. But Chase Young, he's already established himself. He's already the team captain. As a rookie, he's a team captain. And he's doing this, he's doing that. It's just another way to have conversation about something that doesn't need to be talked about, bro.
Yeah. Hey, look, I agree with you both. I absolutely agree with you both. I think, hey, why are we discussing this? And now hindsight 2020, because we've seen at minicamp, he's there at the front of the line, getting in everybody's face, getting hyped, being the same old Chase Young that we love. So you know what? The main word, and Will, you touched on it, is voluntary. If that's what it says, it's voluntary. Don't say it's voluntary if you don't want it to be. Don't make it, you should be there. Then you should have said it's mandatory. You know what I mean? You just say it's voluntary. And again, I think, Will, you also hit it. We don't know what he was doing. We don't know the reason why. And he wasn't like Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the situations are far different, but he wasn't like Aaron Rodgers where he's on a game show or he's on, doing golf or in tournaments and he's not out there, in front of everybody's face. Whatever he's doing, he was doing it, and he's here front and center. So that's how I feel. I'm gonna go ahead and put this up here because Nathan's been watching the show. Shout out to him. He seems to feel that he should be there plain and simple.
I think it'd be nice. I mean, we can all agree that it'd be nice, but again, this is voluntary, you know? And I think there is a difference between if it was in a contract dispute or if he was in the last year of his contract and he's saying, I'm not doing anything that could risk injury before I get paid. But this isn't, so do I wish he was there and we don't have to have a talk about it? Sure, but it will be fine. It's June. Let's he will be fine come September.
Right. And he's at minicamp. He's at minicamp dominating. So it's a moot point.
I mean, he's here when it's mandatory. Like like, come on, man. Like
that's it right there.
Expectations, like it's ridiculous. It's
right.
Oh man. Like I just like it doesn't like to me it there's no point in sitting here even talking about something like voluntary, mandatory. Like we all know what those mean. And honestly, Chase Young was there when it was mandatory. Like, so honestly, leave me alone. Like I'm trying to tell you, like I'm trying to tell you, I wish someone would come up to me and be like, well, you weren't here for voluntary workouts. Bitch. What? They would get all kinds of looks, bro. Like, like honestly, and just like I wish they would like I'd be walking around in minicamp wishing them would. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just like I wish somebody would say something to me because why call it this if you want? Why call it voluntary if you want me there? If you require me to be there?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We didn't go to the same school then. We obviously didn't go to the same school. Like my definition of voluntary is totally different than your definition.
Yep. There it is. There it is. Yo, all right. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. Like it, love it, or hate it. Ab, I'm coming to you. Training camp being held in Richmond.
Okay. Isn't it always held in Richmond?
So yeah, so yeah,
I
so
mean,
yes, it is.
don't they have like an established place in Richmond where they have it? Like, I'm just like, to me, they had it like 1 year or something like in Ashburn, and then all of a sudden it was back into Richmond or something
Yeah,
like that. Am I wrong? Like
yeah.
in that way? But
It
yeah,
used
it's
to
always
be. Yeah. Go ahead.
no. I'll go ahead. No, like I
I
answer
was.
like
It used to be in Ashburn. As a matter of fact, our your first year out of school, me and Will senior year, they had it in Ashburn, and I worked there.
okay.
Yeah, I worked there. I got autographs from when Ray Rhodes was coaching. Daryl Green was still there. Like, it was actually, it was pretty interesting. We worked at like uh, the little fan area where the field goal post and the 40-yard dash and that little slingshot that you try to, you run with the ball, see if you can touch the end of it. I don't know if you guys ever been to any of those, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was pretty dope. It was nice working there, man. I wish I had video of when I got that letter saying that they hired me. I was like, oh, this is it. I thought I got drafted. I was like, yes,
That's your college
yes.
acceptance letter. Like,
Right,
yeah.
right. I was more excited
That's
about this
better
than when
than
I
a
got
college
accepted.
acceptance letter. I just got hired by the Washington Redskins.
Right. They want me to report. I'm coming, guys. This is it. This is my chance. So I mean, yeah, it used to be it has been in a lot of different places, but now
Yeah.
it's in Richmond. So how you
So
feel?
I would rather it be in the area if that's what we're talking about. Like, I mean, but from most recent history, it's been in Richmond. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like, it's just something that I'm used to, just something that it like I'm grown accustomed to. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it needs to be in the area. Like, honestly,
Right.
like where like in Richmond, I don't know because I don't know. I know people are going to drive. Like, we can follow, especially going down 95 an hour, hour and a half. Like, I know we're ready to do that. A lot of us are ready to do that. But to me, why not keep it in the area? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why not keep it
Right.
in Nova? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's plenty of spots to do this here. They still got the spot in Ashburn. So like, why not continue to do it there? Like,
Right.
to me, it's probably about money. Obviously, it's always about money, but yeah, just bring it back home. Do everything in Ashburn. I'm all about it. Just bring everything into Ashburn. Ashburn can accommodate you guys. Stop playing like they can't and just do it. So I'm just bring the shit back to Ashburn.
Yep. I'm with it. Hey, I'm with it. And endpoints that we will discuss later. Talking about the stadium. I mean, we're Northern Virginia. We have always been Washington's team, but it feels like we have to be stretched out. I hate it. I don't like it being in Richmond. Like, I loved it when it was in Ashburn. It was right in our backyard. Because the fact that we already have to go to Landover, Maryland to see our team, and then you're having to go to Richmond. I'm having to drive back and forth to all these different places. And I'm like, man, if it's in my backyard, it'll make me going to the stadium and going all the way out there more bearable because it's like, oh, okay, I can deal with that. But
Well,
I would love it in my backyard. Yeah,
let me say this: don't the Cowboys do their training camp in like California or something like that?
yeah.
For
Some
a
team
little bit. They do about a
the
week in California.
Yeah.
yeah
So I mean, we
the
really
Saints
can't
the Saints do
complain.
theirs in West Virginia.
Who?
The Saints, and I think the Texans. I think the Saints do theirs over at the Greenbrier in West Virginia near Cat's family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think that's because
Yeah.
of weather. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Houston's hot as all get out.
Well, exactly,
You're right.
exactly. So yeah, so it happens to other squads. But Will, how do you feel about it?
So I'm actually the other side. I love this. I think it's good to get away for a little bit. I like the fact that they're only going for a week because these are men with families, and if you think about having to get away beyond a week, you really are disrupting that home life. But it can be good to get away for a little bit. Again, things are different. Just like mini camps, training camp used to be where you come to get in shape, you come to learn the offense, you come to learn the defense, and they all know that stuff. So NFL teams are more advanced today than they used to be the years that the Redskins would go to Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and just get ready for the season. But I like it because the opposite reasons of what you guys say. Here, living in the DMV, you can go to a game anytime you want. So you go down to Richmond, there's a fan base down there. You're getting closer to them. There's a fan base down in the 757. That's only an hour and a half out, 2-hour drive up. So you're spreading the team, especially since with the Ravens up there, and then how diehard some of the fans in Pennsylvania are. I don't know if it makes sense to go north anymore. While it makes sense from a weather standpoint, I mean, why are we going to Richmond, Virginia for weather? It is hot as heck in Richmond too. So you're not getting a type of advantage there, but you're reaching other fans. But I would imagine that there's only a couple more years of doing this. When they build the stadium, they're going to build the complex. They're going to have everything there. And I would imagine this doesn't, but again, this is just kind of working on a little bit of an outreach is how I see it, especially since it's only 5 days. It's 1 week. That's a little more compressed than normal.
Yeah. Will's only saying that it's because that means it's less of a drive for him to come up from South Carolina to get to it. That's the only reason why.
You're only saying you don't like it because it's not in your backyard, so you're being selfish too.
Actually, honestly, I live in Waldorf, so it's lit like Richmond's closer to me than Ashburn.
Oh, wow. Oh, really?
It is.
195?
Waldorf, you can take like the back, like I can cross over to Chesapeake and get to like Fredericksburg.
I see what you're talking about. Right. I see what you're talking about. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sorry, we challenged you, Ab. Sorry about that.
Yeah, don't start with me. Don't you go there. Don't you do it.
We gotta move on. We gotta move on. All right, like it, love it, or hate it. Will, I'm coming to you. The Rochester players have been starting to do their first day back to school pictures with their, how many years they played in the league, who their teacher is, coach, with Mr. Ron, Mr. Rivera, who their friends are. I know Fitzpatrick had Terry and Curtis as his two friends over there. Will, what do you think about this?
I have to say that if there's one thing we can be proud about this team, which has nothing to do, unfortunately, with the football aspect of it, is their social media game and their communications has been amazing over the last year.
The last year or two. The last year.
They really revamped it and recognizing that this is how you reach fans. And that was so creative and hilarious, to see the players. And, I saw, the kicker, Dustin Hopkins, said, he named his coach was his coach and whatnot. His best friends are Tress, and they called him Cheese, the long snapper. It's like they had fun with it. Like, hats off to whoever came up with that, because that was so creative, and they did a well job with it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. What you think, man?
Honestly, I loved it too. I can't even lie. Like, I love that corny shit. Like, I'm with you, Will. Like, it's. Like, I was just about to say that it's just the social media team, like the last year or two, it's just been off the chain. It's encouraging. It's like it makes you, it's like joyful, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really didn't have much prior to that. And honestly, it's just like, I know we weren't good and everything like that, but the social media aspect of it kind of just even made it even worse. It just brought us down as a fan base. But the first day of school kind of thing, parents do that for like the first day of school, and it was awesome. I thought it was funny that Ryan Fitzpatrick had this like mean face, like, I don't want to go to school today. Right. He just had this pouting face, like, I hate school. To me, that kind of shows his personality to me. And that makes me F with him real hard right now.
I like it.
Really does. Like, honestly, like I'm starting to jump on this man's wagon. Not yet. He needs to change a few tires first. But honestly, like,
The bad
honestly, like, yeah, he still got a few broken tires for me, man. Like a few flat tires, but he changed a few. Like I'm jumping on it real fast.
Yep.
Baby,
Yep.
that's my show. I gotta talk loud.
Happy birthday.
They're saying happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Very early birthday.
Jump
Happy early birthday.
Say thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I love it. Yeah, Kat's a teacher. She's been, like I said, she's been a teacher for 20 years. She ended up doing this 2 years ago. I think it was her 17th year teaching. She did the little dry erase board with, I got my lunchbox. I'm going in to teach and this stuff like that. I love it because you're exactly right. In the last 2 years, we have definitely noticed a push in the social media realm and the fan reaching out realm because there was a portion of time before the pandemic where it was like, I don't even want to go to the games. Like, I don't want to be a part of the team. Like, it's not, I don't feel like outside of my love that I've had, since birth, I don't feel like I'm connected to these guys. I don't think they care about me, anything. Now I feel like we're involved, like they understand, like all these moves they've made for whatever reason they've made them. I think we're heading in the right direction. So this, I think, was another way. It was just cute. I love that they did that. It tickled me to death. So,
so it started off with Ron Rivera, and then the firing of what's his name, Michaels, Jimmy Michaels, the dude that did the Washington football show.
Larry Michaels.
Larry Michaels. Yeah, Larry Michaels. Yeah,
they fired him or whatever. And Julia Donaldson got hired, and like these people, these were the moves to make this better. Like, I wholeheartedly believe they changed the culture with this, like with all of this. And I'm honestly, I cannot be happier, man. Like, it really is. It, like, honestly, it's like it's like someone just like opened up, like got us out of the basement, a dark basement kind of thing. Yeah. And I'm all about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely hyped. I love it. I absolutely love it. And last but not least, speaking of, he was one of the guys that missed a little bit of time in OTAs, but bright and early Monday morning, he was there at mini camp. But Montez Sweat had an interview, and he made some interesting comments about COVID and COVID testing. I'm going to go ahead and read the first two questions of the interview and his comments. Basically, what he said, they asked him, what did you make of the way the team is bringing the vaccine experts to encourage people to get vaccinated? Montez Sweat said, I'm not a fan of it. I probably won't get vaccinated until I get more facts and all that type of stuff. I'm not a fan at all. Then they ask, what is your hesitation with getting vaccinated? He said, I haven't caught COVID yet. I don't see me treating COVID until I actually get COVID. So, Ab, do you make anything of these comments? How do you feel about what he was saying?
Okay, so man, this ain't the most PC question like we've had yet. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about Colin Kaepernick. So
right.
Let's say that. Okay. So so the first question was, I'm not a fan of them bringing it. Like his answer was, I'm not a fan of them bringing in someone, a representative talking about pro-COVID or pro-vaccine, right? Yeah. I understand that. I totally understand I totally understand that. I get what he's coming from. I understand where he's coming from. Everyone's entitled to their opinion about this. You know what I'm saying? Even though there is factual things for, against, everything. Like everyone is entitled to it. To me, I don't think you have so much of a luxury to do that when you're working with 53 to 90 to 100, 150, 200 different damn people in a work day. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you have the luxury to sit there and be this, and this, and this. Because something that you guys may not know, is it's going to get to a point when it's going to be required to go into a work establishment to get vaccinated. It's going to be required. And what's he going to say then? Like, you know what I'm saying? Is he still going to still not want to go? And then at the same time, like, to me, my argument, I'll put it out there. I just got vaccinated recently myself. And my whole thing, and like, I was just like the way he thought. Like, to me, I'm sitting here thinking the way they came out with this shot was too damn fast. Like, it was so fast. Like, it don't even seem like they had time to test it fast. And we're the guinea pigs and everything like that. But to me, it's like, I got kids and I'm forced to be around people for work.
Yep.
The worst thing for my life is if I get my kids sick. And that's what I think about. And I think a lot of people think about me. I never got sick. Well, I never got sick neither.
Yeah.
It's about the person that may get sick that's around you. What if he's sitting there running around, got COVID, and Ionitis gets sick because of him? You know what I'm saying? Deron Payne. Like, you get what I'm saying? The whole, and I'll even say this, because he's in what group is he in? Defensive line, right?
Yeah.
What if he is in the contact? He catches COVID, and he's in the contact area of everybody else in the defensive line. That means our potential number one defensive line can't play that week.
Yeah.
Cannot play that week. So what happened to Denver when that quarterback room got wiped out and they had to go to a freaking wide receiver last year?
Yeah.
Bro, that's going to be even worse for us because he's wiping out the whole defensive line. Like, I would even say it's worse for us because literally we have to sit there and basically promote everyone on the practice squad, basically tell Kelvin Harmon that he has to play defensive tackle now. Like, I'm trying to tell you, everybody on special teams is playing defensive line now. Like,
we'll find somebody.
You guys, he's not. I always say this, not like as a parent, Will, you can how old are your kids, Will? I'm sorry.
2.
I'm sorry.
He's young.
2?
He's 2. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you had 2 kids. My bad. Okay, so he's 2. I tell my older kids, I'm like, you don't see, you can't think past your ass, and that's my, like, to me, that's where this comment is coming from. He had a point with answering the first question, being like, we don't know enough about it. The second question is where he sounded like an ass because he's like, well, I haven't gotten it sick, so why would I take care of something that I haven't gotten sick for? I mean, that defeats the whole purpose of vaccinations in general anyway, and people still get them things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I guarantee you, because he went to college and everything like that, he still got his ass vaccinated though, right?
Yeah.
Like,
he had to do what he had to do for that. Right.
I'm sorry. I know I was long-winded with that, but just but you guys get my point. Like, you get what I'm saying? I don't think I said it. I think I don't need to say much else.
You hit it. I mean, you hit it spot on. Honestly, you hit it spot on. I don't have anything else to go along with that. Personally, I work with people. I work with adults with mental disabilities. So I was never able to go on I was never able to stop working. I had to continue working. Catherine had COVID. So she was in the hospital for a week. So then when she came back, I mean, we moved on by the blessings of God, by the grace of God. You know, she was able to get past it, but we ended up having to be quarantined. The CDC called us. We were quarantined for a couple of weeks. I even had to sit back from my job. That's the only stop I got. But we kept working. We had to continue working. And since we work with people, they gave us a shot early. I agree with all the the questions and this and that. But at the same time, that's exactly what I felt. The same thing you were saying, Ab, is that I'm dealing with this person. I need to be okay and healthy and protected to make sure they're healthy and protected. I got another life here, albeit it might not be my son. It is still who the person I am taking care of. So, we both actually were able to get vaccinated and actually. To me, like I said, like I picked it up to pretty much the same way you did. The first comment, okay, I get it. I get that point. A lot of my family members feel that way. We need to do the, we need to hear the facts and the updates, and we need to hear what, the old, and they hear the horror stories, the Johnson & Johnson stuff, and they're like, oh, well, I don't know. And that's their big deal. So I get that. But on the flip side, it's exactly what you said. When you gotta get out of me, and you gotta start thinking about people around you. The fact that you could then potentially push that to somebody else, even though you're not sick, you gotta pay attention to that. You gotta pay attention to that.
And to jump on that, it's like even though we got vaccinated, we can still catch this mother. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And all because someone didn't want to get vaccinated that I have to be around. Come on, bro. Come on, man. And so, just think, like, what you're gonna be mad when literally our defensive line, like, and that's all I can think about. He's not thinking enough into the future to even be to even effectively be objective about this shot.
Right. Will, what you think, man?
Well, I think of two things. First and foremost, I think we need to remember, and I felt too many people were jumping on him when this is not a Montez Sweat problem. This is a league issue. Right now, the Washington team is only 50% vaccinated. So he's not the only one. He's just the one speaking out about it. And I think they did the right thing last night by bringing in a doctor to talk about this, to say, let me debunk what you've heard and let me teach you about the facts and the science behind it so that players can start to think about it. I think what we're hearing from both of y'all is perspective, and that we have to remember we have families, we have loved ones that could be more vulnerable. Let's also remember Montez Sweat is a 25-year-old male in the prime of his life, in the prime shape. That is one of the categories that isn't as susceptible to having horrible symptoms for this. I see this down here living in a college town. But at the same time, he needs to recognize the business decision behind this, just like you talked about. And if you think about it, though, he just went through a whole year of playing where there was no vaccine, and he was face to face with guys, and he didn't get sick. So we got to remember see his perspective, but he needs to be educated on this. I don't know if you all saw what happened this weekend in golf. There was a golfer who, after 3 rounds, was in first place by 5 strokes and running away with the tournament. Because he had only had his first vaccine. The golf policy, the PGA, says if you've been vaccinated twice and you're fully vaccinated, we won't check you every single day. But if you haven't, we're going to check you every day. And this guy had a contact tracing on Monday. Someone he was with tested positive. So they tested him every single day. On Saturday, he tested positive. His name is John Rahm, and he got booted from the tournament. You want to know how much money he lost?
Millions.
$1.6 million is what he lost. So that's where I think, just like you said, it's not Montez. It may not be about, are you going to get hospitalized from this? Who knows? But what about, are you going to spread this to your teammates and wipe out our team? What about the coaches? And just the fact that you are face to face with other players from another team. So there does need to be a global perspective education on this. But I think we also just need to recognize when the folks are talking to people like Montez or other players, like, you got to recognize where they're coming from, but then you got to talk to them about, well, like you said, here are the consequences, here are some of the facts, and here are the ramifications of if you don't do this for others. Because you're right. People around that age are all about what, and to be honest, let's think about it. If I was 23 or 25 years old I probably wouldn't be as worried about it as at being 38 with the kid, and it's like so. So I do think we need to recognize that, but I hope he's educated. I hope more players get vaccinated for the whole standpoint of protecting everybody to not have some of the issues we had last season. Because now the resources are out there, so let's use our resources.
Right.
Are you done, Will? All right, so I was going to say that just like he said about the coaches, can we not forget that Ron Rivera is literally not even a year out of remission, bro?
Exactly.
He's the most susceptible.
I was just about to say that.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. He's the most susceptible person on that team to catch this shit. And
that's one of the reasons why we booted Dwayne.
Because and that was my next point.
Oh, sorry.
Like, how's this any different from Dwayne Haskins? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, of course, there's a bit of a difference, but you get what I mean. Yeah, it's literally the same damn thing. And just like you were saying, Will, it's like the stuff that he has to go through now in order to play week to week to week. He's going to have to get tested probably like 4 times a day. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like get tested multiple times before a game. Like it's going to be ridiculous. And God forbid he catches COVID. He's going to wipe out the whole room. Just like you said, Will, the contact tracing of it all, right? That alone is going to wipe out the whole D-line room. And that's, to me, that is what is going to drive me crazy. And I'm, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I can think several steps ahead. And like, I know you're saying like he's a young kid, he's this, he's that, but you're an adult too. Yeah. You have to be able to see several steps ahead. And that's what I try to teach my older kids that. I have a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and my 15-year-old. I'm sitting here just trying to teach them that you can't just think about here and now. You have to think several steps ahead. What's your actions right now? How are they going to be? How are they going to affect you and people around you today, tomorrow, in a week? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And 25, you got years beyond a 15-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old. So, like, when does that come? Like, when, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, and you're absolutely right. It's perspective. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got family, loved ones, and we're old as shit. Like, it's just like, you know what I'm saying? But he has a coach in his face every day that is not even a year removed from remission from cancer. That's perspective too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you hit the nail on the head. It's just that same situation from last year. And I respected you're a skilled player and this and that, but you got to think of something more of yourself. And that's when we're talking about the team and the chemistry and the camaraderie. You got to start thinking not just about me, but about the people around me, who can possibly get affected. And that's something that I think I love that you hit on that. Will, did you want to say something?
You good? No, I thought you had a great point about think about Ron Rivera and how diligent they were for him last year. Why wouldn't you continue to be diligent? And this is something that can help.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think.